If you've been Googling homes for sale in Los Angeles and your jaw just keeps hitting the floor, you are not alone. And I am not here to sugarcoat anything for you. My name is Jose Blandon and I've been helping families relocate to Los Angeles County for over a decade. And I consult with buyers just like you every single week. People moving here from New York, Texas, Chicago, Florida, the Pacific Northwest. And number one question I always get is, Jose, what does my budget actually get me in Los Angeles? Not what Zillow tells you, not what your cousin who visited once thinks, what it actually gets you. So today we're going to be breaking it down by the three most common budgets I see: $750, $1 million, and $1.5 million. I'm going to walk you through what each of those budgets buys you, neighborhood by neighborhood, including the trade-off no one else is going to tell you about. Size, condition, commute, school districts, parking lot sizes, we're covering all of it. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you guys, you are going to have more than clarity than you've had in months. And if you want me to personally map out which neighborhood fits your specific budget and your lifestyle, there's a link in the description. Let's get into this video. Now, before we dive in, let me give you a little context so that you can actually use this information. Los Angeles is not one market. It is dozens of micro markets stitched together under one giant country. The $750,000 home in Pasadena is completely different than the $750,000 home in Torrance or Long Beach or the San Fernando Valley. So when we talk about these price points, we're going to be very specific about where, because location changes everything. And also, and I say this because I want you to get your expectations properly, LA is still a very competitive market. Now, we are not in a buyer's market. You're still going to see homes move quickly. You're still going to see multiple offers on well-priced properties. But there is opportunity here, and especially if you know where to look and what to prioritize. And that's literally my job. I help relocation buyers out through the noise and make smart, confident decisions about where to plant their roots in Southern California. Now, I've done this for over 10 years and thousands of miles of buyer consultations. So let me be your guide right now. All right, let's get into it and talk about the money. Let's start with $750,000, which is probably the most competitive and the most misunderstood price point in Los Angeles right now. Here's the honest truth. At $750,000 in Los Angeles County, you are not buying a single family home with a yard in a top tier neighborhood. That ship has sailed. But this is important. You absolutely can buy a quality home that makes sense for your life if you know where to look. So what does $750K typically look like? You're looking at a 2 to 3 bedrooms, roughly 900 to 1,400 square feet, likely a condo, townhome, or a small single-family residential in a more affordable pocket of Los Angeles. You may be dealing with a HOA, and you may be dealing in a building with shared amenities. Parking is often, not always, 1 or 2 covered spots. Now, where does $750K actually work? Long Beach is my first stop for this budget. You can find detached homes, actual houses in the $700,000 to $800,000 range in neighborhoods like Wrigley, North Long Beach, and parts of Signal Hill. Yes, Long Beach. It has a downtown, a waterfront, a growing food and arts scene, and it's about 25 miles from central LA. Now that commute, depending on where you're going, is 30 to 45 minutes on a good day, more in traffic. But for what you're getting in terms of home and lifestyle, many buyers find it absolutely worth it. Now, Torrance is another one. It's very livable, great schools. We're talking Torrance Unified, which consistently ranks well, quiet suburban feel close to the South Bay beach cities. And at $750K, you might find a 3-bedroom single-family residential, possibly with a small yard. Now, it won't be brand new. It might be 1960s or 1970s, but that needs some updating. But the bones are solid and the neighborhood is stable. Now, the San Fernando Valley, particularly areas like Silmar, Arleta, Panorama City, and parts of North Hills can also get you a detached single-family residential at this price point. Now, what's the trade-off? You're inland, it gets hot, and the commute into LA proper or the west side can be brutal without the right timing. But for families who need space and are price sensitive, the Valley does deliver. Now, the honest trade-offs at $750K. You likely are not getting a turnkey home. Expect to negotiate some repairs, deal with some deferred maintenance, or plan for a light renovation. School districts vary wildly in this range, some great, some not so great. you definitely got to do your homework. And parking, it's usually fine, but double check if you have 2 cars or if you plan to. Now, real quick, if you're in this budget range and you want me to personally identify which neighborhoods in LA fit your lifestyle and commute needs, drop your budget in the comments or click the link in the description to download our free relocation guide. It breaks down every major submarket by budget, lifestyle, and family situation. It's free. Grab it. Okay, let's get back to it. All right, $1 million. In most of the country, this is generational wealth in a home. But in Los Angeles, it is, and I say this respectfully, a solid starting point. At 7 figures, the market opens up considerably. You now have real options, and the quality of those options depends entirely on what you're prioritizing. So what does $1 million typically look like? In this range, you're typically looking at 3 to 4 bedrooms, 1,400 to 2,000 square feet, with a better chance of finding a detached single-family residential, possibly with a small yard. You start to see updated kitchens, newer systems, and homes that don't require an immediate renovation budget on top of the purchase price. Condo options at this price point are very nice. Now, where does $1 million work best? Pasadena is a standout at this price. It's one of my favorite recommendations for relocation buyers who want walkability, culture, great schools, and a sense of actual community. For $950,000 to $1.1 million, you can find a 3-bedroom craftsman or Spanish revival. Yes, a house in a neighborhood like Bungalow Heaven or parts of East Pasadena. The architecture alone is worth the commute. And schools like Pasadena Unified have magnet programs that are top tier excellent. Commute to downtown LA is about 30 to 40 minutes depending on the route. The 210 and the 134 freeways give you great connectivity. Now, Culver City is another incredible option at $1 million. You're getting a city that feels curated. Amazon Studios is here, Sony Pictures, tech companies, incredible restaurants, and it sits geographically between Santa Monica and downtown LA. Now, the school district, Culver City Unified, is one of the better options in West LA. And at this budget, you're likely looking at a 2 to 3 bedroom condo townhouse rather than a standalone house, but the lifestyle in value is extraordinary. Burbank and Glendale round out the $1 million sweet spot for a lot of my clients. Both of these cities have their own school districts. Burbank Unified and Glendale Unified, they're both highly rated. Now you get quiet, tree-lined residential streets, proximity to studios if your industry is entertainment, and real detached homes at the $1 million mark. Burbank in particular is very family friendly. Parking is almost never an issue here. So what are the honest trade-offs at $1 million? Lot sizes tend to be small. We're talking 4,000 to 6,000 square feet on average. And if you're dreaming of buying a big backyard, you may be disappointed. In Culver City, parts of Pasadena, competition is fierce. So don't be surprised if you find yourself in a multiple offer situation on a well-priced home. Condition is better in this range, but it's still not always turnkey. The inspections will be your best friend. Let's get into 1.5 million. Now we're talking. And at this price point, Los Angeles starts to feel a lot like what you imagined when you first thought you were moving here. This is the budget where you stop compromising on most things. You might still have to choose between location or size, or between a bigger backyard and a better school district, but you get to choose, and that's the difference. What does $1.5 million typically look like? You're looking at a 3 to 4 bedrooms, 1,800 to 2,600 square feet, a detached single-family home in a desirable neighborhood, often with a 2-car garage, updated interior, and sometimes a proper backyard. You're in a neighborhood where you'll feel the pride of ownership, where the streets are clean, the parks are maintained, and the schools are genuinely strong. So where does $1.5 million typically shine? The South Bay, especially Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach, and El Segundo. This is a dream for a lot of my relocation clients at this number. And yes, $1.5 million in Manhattan Beach gets you something real. It might be a 3-bedroom home on a smaller lot. The walk streets and tree sections are popular, but you are living blocks from one of the most beautiful beaches of the coastline of Southern California. And the schools, Manhattan Beach Unified District is elite. The lifestyle, second to none. And if your commute is remote or you work in the tech or aerospace along the West Side Corridor, This is the move. Northeast LA, specifically Highland Park, Eagle Rock, and Glassdale Park, is a completely different vibe at this budget. Now, these neighborhoods have undergone a serious renaissance over the last decade, and they are now some of the most sought after pockets in the entire country. At 1.4 million to 1.6 million, you can find a beautifully renovated California bungalow with character, a yard, a bonus space, and the kind of neighborhood energy that makes you feel like you're in a movie. Proximity to downtown LA is excellent. Some buyers commute in the 15 to 20 minute range. Schools are improving and you have access to some of the most excellent charter options. Studio City in the San Fernando Valley rounds out this tier beautifully. Homes here at 1.4 million to 1.6 million often have updates, good square footage, and private outdoor space. School options include some of the better public and private schools in the entire valley. And if you're moving from a major coastal city and you want some of that same level and polish of amenity, Studio City absolutely delivers. The honest trade-offs at $1.5 million. In the South Bay, you are paying a serious premium for proximity to the beach, so don't expect a massive house. In Northeast LA, the neighborhood vibe is incredible, but some blocks are still transitional and you'll want to walk them in person before committing. And in Studio City, traffic on Ventura or the 101 during peak hours can be genuinely painful. All right, let's bring this all together because I want this to stick. At $750,000, you're in Long Beach, Torrance, or the Valley. You're getting into the market, probably a smaller home, a townhome, or you're trading square footage for a foothold in one of the most desirable metros in the country. That's a smart move. At $1 million, your options expand into Pasadena, Culver City, Burbank, and Glendale. You're getting real homes in real neighborhoods with strong school and actual community. Now, this is where a lot of my relocation buyers land, and most of them are thrilled. At $1.5 million, you're playing at the premium level. South Bay Beach lifestyle, Northeast LA character, Studio City sophistication. You are not compromising on much. You're just deciding which version of amazing it is that you want. And across all three, the single most important thing I can tell you is that LA rewards buyers who understand the nuances. The right block in a good neighborhood will outperform the wrong block in a great neighborhood every single time. And that knowledge, that's what you get when you actually work with someone who actually lives and breathes in this market. So here's what I want you to do right now. If you are seriously considering about relocating to Los Angeles or Orange County, and I mean actually thinking of it, not just dreaming about it, I want to talk to you. I offer a free relocation strategy call where I look at your specific budget, your lifestyle needs, your commute situation, the family, your timeline, and I tell you exactly where in Southern California you belong. There's no fluff, no pressure, just clarity. The link to book that call is in the description, and it takes 2 minutes to schedule and it can save you months of confusion. And if you're not quite ready for that call, that's okay too. We have free Los Angeles and Orange County relocation guides that break down every major neighborhood by lifestyle, budget, and commute. Download it, read it, and when you're ready, I'll be here. If this video has helped you, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who are going through the same situation like you. Subscribe if you want more content like this. I drop new videos every week covering everything from neighborhood comparisons to the LA buying process to what no one tells you about the escrow out here. My name is Jose Blandon, and if you're going to make the move to Los Angeles, let's make sure you make the right move. I'll see you in the next one.